Okay, we're going to combine like terms. Let's not review, sorry about that. So like terms just means that they have to have the same variable. So if I look at number 1 and I see that 7 is attached to an x and 3 is attached to an x, then I'm literally going to do what it says to do. So I'm going to do 7x minus 3x, and that means I have 4x. When I look at 2, I see a 2a and a plus 3a, so I'm going to put those together. 2a plus 3a is 5a, and then since the plus 5 is the only constant, or a number without a variable, then it's going to stay plus 5. And there is my simplified expression. Number 3, when I look at 9g plus g, that g has a 1 in front of it. That means 1g. So when you do 9g plus g, it equals 10g. Number 4, whatever sign is right in front of the coefficient or the variable is what you want to do with it. So when I look at the 9k, it's positive. And when I look at the other k, the 1k, it's actually a minus 1k or a negative 1k. You can think of it both ways. Combining always means add. So I'm going to do 9k plus negative 1k, which is 8k. And then the negative 8 or the minus 8 that's still there is just going to stay minus 8 or negative 8. So I'm actually taking like each little part and separating it in my head, and that symbol that we usually think of as addition or subtraction just becomes a positive or a negative, and then I add the things together. So 7y, I'm going to add that to negative 5y, which is positive 2y. And then I have a positive 2w and a positive 3w. I'm going to add those together. And once I know that I've got only one of each letter, so I don't see any other y's, I don't see any other w's, and the same thing with all the rest of them, I know I'm done combining. That's the simplified version. So when you simplify, I'm going to write that word up there because that's what we just did. We just simplified those expressions. So now let's look at underneath. Sometimes we combine and we do get negative answers. So if I look at the first one, number 6, I see a 12a, and it's positive, but then I see a negative 14a. So when I go to combine a positive 12 and a negative 14, they're different signs. So you actually subtract, which would be 2. But since the 14 is bigger, it's a negative 2. And then the plus 4 has nothing to combine with, so it's going to stay plus 4. So whatever the answer is when you combine, the larger number, we keep the sign, just like the old addition rules, and then that sign just goes in your answer. So it's negative 2a plus 4. That can actually be written as positive 4 minus 2a. That would be the exact same thing. If I plugged in a number for a, I would multiply it and then add the 4, or subtract from the 4. Number 7, so we have I'm going to start with the x's. So I have a positive 7x and a negative 2x. Different signs subtract. Keep the sign of the higher number. So subtract and get 5. The higher number is positive. Now let's do the constants, or the numbers that don't have variables. So I have a negative 8 and positive 4. Different signs, subtract, keep the sign of the higher number. So when I subtract, I get 4, but it's a negative 4 because 8 is bigger. So my negative 4 now looks like 5x minus 4 in my expression. Okay, number 8. So remember, this is 1y, positive 1y, negative 10y. So a positive 1 and a negative 10 combine to be a negative 9y. 1 and negative 10 makes negative 9. And then we have a positive 3 and a negative 5. Different signs again, subtract. The higher number is negative. So 5 minus 3 is 2. 5 is bigger, and it's the negative. Okay, 9. So we have 6x and negative 3x. Different signs, subtract. The higher number is positive 6, so we're going to keep it positive. Positive 5, negative 8. Different signs, subtract. The higher number is the 8, so it's negative 3. So 8 minus 5 is 3. It becomes a negative 3. So my expression says 3x minus 3. Do you hear how I'm interchanging the words minus and negative? So I went from saying negative 3 to 3x minus 3. It's the same thing. All right, these look more difficult, 10, 11, 12, but they're not that hard. When you go to combine like terms, they don't only have to be the same letter, but they have to have the same exponent attached to them. So 8x squared and negative 3x squared, those are alike. So same idea, just combine the numbers in front. So positive 8 and negative 3 makes positive 5. X squared stays the same. Now let's do the x's. So we have a positive 9x, a positive 1x. Those are combined to be positive 10x. And the last guy doesn't have anybody to combine with, so he's just going to stay negative 7. Okay, number 11. So we have different letters. The same, whatever's together has to be together to be a like term. So in other words, when I look at the first term that says 3ab, the only other one that's like it, I'm sorry, there's two like it, is the negative 10ab. And don't forget, this is a negative 1ab. So we have to combine 3 plus negative 10 plus negative 1. So 3 plus negative 10 is negative 7, plus negative 1 is negative 8. The AB stays the same. Now let's do the A's. So we have a negative 2A and a positive 5A. So it's positive, so plus 3A, because the 5's bigger, so the answer came out positive. And then we have a 7 over here. That's all by itself, so there's no other constants to combine with it. It just stays plus 7. All right, last one. Again, same exponents. So we have 6y cubed. I see a negative 10y cubed. Positive 6 and negative 10 combine to be negative 4y cubed. All right, moving on. I'm just going from highest to lowest. So if I do negative 6y squared and positive 12y squared, so the negative 6 and the positive 12 are going to combine to be positive 6 because 12 is bigger. And we subtract. So positive 6y squared. All right, and then we have a positive 1y and a negative 11y. So positive 1 and negative 11. So I subtract and get 10. Keep the sign of the higher number. So 11 is bigger, so it's negative 10y. And that's the only number again, so plus 22 is going to stay plus 22.